Uh, these type of messages were not fully part of anything that I was expected to go ahead and wake up to. Because how I seen something, someone could be, they could have been considered to be in a coma or ventilator or something like that. Somebody would wake up. But it also, they could be spiritual too, where, you're going through something and you waking up like you was in a sleep state, but it's like it's time to wake up. And you wake up and you wake up to everything that's occurring. And when you pay attention to the minor details, certain people wouldn't ever recognize it fully because someone was accustomed to certain things uh, working out in a particular way. Because this is just something of a way that somebody got accustomed to doing things. And it's like, well, it works. It works. We don't ever have to worry about it because we've been getting away with this for 20 years. We've been getting away with this for, 30 years. Them type of folks, they've been doing that, right? And in order for the path to work distinctively, you will have to know exactly, because it's usually, it starts from first line. I got eyes on me like crazy. Military motherfuckers like, can we do a settlement? God damn it. I know we made a mistake. I know someone's sitting there like, we made a mistake, bro. We made, somebody, it's a big conversation going on. It's like, we made a major mistake. People are getting woke up right now out of their sleep to know, like, someone could actually be getting questioned as well. This is like one of those situations. They didn't read the fine print. Because the only thing it was like when I got woken up, I'm thinking it's like, well, dang, it's probably be like 5 o'clock in the morning. Dang, Shorty finally slept really good. And I looked at the time, I'm like, well, when you wake up at these hours, it means this. And then it was just like Native American, the Indian Hindu one, um, a saint. So the saint angel, which was uh, Ahaya. Okay, Psalms 103, the Lord is merciful and gracious, slow to anger, and plenteous in mercy. Okay. Morals of this guardian is for those birthdays who's born on March 26th, June 6th, August 17th, 28th of October, January 8th. Physical guardians of those born is going to be between April 19th and the 23rd. Okay. And if I'm working on a simulator, that would require me to be in a Sims, which will require me to be in the department of having a degree in the arts, not science. This is arts. Um, Technology degrees, so STEM programs and other things as well, as well. Because I was thinking of the Sims game prior to. I was waking up because it was like, as soon as it came in, it seemed like an angel, but then it was like, is this a doctor? Is this a nurse? And it was just like, all right, Buttercup, it's time to wake up. That's the only thing I heard right before I just went on ahead and woke up. It was like, it's time for you to go ahead and wake up. And I'm like, why I gotta wake up like this? Like, but it was just like I could see the other person, like someone could have been scrying and looking into like somebody is literally in the bed on a ventilator or something like that. And then it's like I see someone touch the person and their hands jump and somebody jumps back like, what the fuck? And then they crying because the tube in there, and I'm just hearing somebody say, calm down, calm down. We're going to get it. Just work your way through it. You just got to breathe. And then it was like regressing me in situations of these people could have been born in the 1970s or situations in the 1970s, 80s, and up until current. And because I'm hearing similar ways, similar faces, starting to feel the similar things. Are you sure we haven't met before? Because it's situations like that. That song I put in the community board, Janae Aiko. This is about being dealing with people, but it's the same energy. People keep lying, stealing, they keep harming you. But then it's like once you get to the real depth of the source, like in my situation, I was basically not only in romantic relationships, I was meeting family things, generational things. The women will go through these things. Um, the type of situations the women were going through, the men of the family would do those things to the women. So you will have to know those things. Then, not to only mention, you will have to know what type of things that they would get into. Then it also will lead you to know exactly um, not only the psychological, the emotional state of those people, but also those people who they send into you. More often than not, the last person that is going to be sent in, you're going to see it because you got to be on the outside to look in. And you will see when you're really versed in it, okay? These are people right now. I know I'm dealing with practitioners, soothsayers, scryers, people that do dream state stuff like that. So you have to be from particular nationalities and races to do this. Also, in order for it to be effective, the person has to operate out of a particular energy, but however, they also have to know exactly what they're looking for. So either it's going to be malefic or benefic. And if it's not malefic, malefic is the bad dharma, bad juju. Benefic is something that's beneficial. However, the worst part that you can do when people be like, what's your date, what's your age, where you come from, those things, right? But in order for it to really fully be effect, I must know who are you actually meant to be with. Regardless, like shit, you could be gay today, but you're actually meant to be heterosexual tomorrow, and it's going to happen regardless. But if you're not aware of it, the cycle that that person is in, they're going to carry on that cycle. The other person is going to have to keep going, right? Because that person is going to keep meeting the same thing until then, right? But in order for the person to stay in a sleep state, it will have to, the last person that you're dealing with will have to have similar lines or zodiacs. Rather, if it's you're a woman and it's a man, you'll see that man and their parental families' secrets, regardless of if they feel like, oh, well, we cloaked ourselves. Well, if you're a shaman, you ain't hiding shit from a shaman. I'm sorry, not sorry. Shit, you can go to the highest priest. You could go to motherfucking Timbuktu for all I give a shit. You're not hiding shit from a person who's naturally born shamanic. A naturally born shamanic person will see all. It doesn't matter the nationality. It doesn't matter what continent, what part of the globe they come from. You will only be able to shield yourself for so long. Now, the bigger part of the situation, if it's a person doing footstep, so that means when they ask you what size of shoes, your socks, if they do it based off your sexual prowess, your underwear, your bras, your undergarments, um, hair, if they do hair, that's genetics, that's DNA alteration. Blood, spit, saliva, DNA, right? DNA, RNA. You can do swap, but it's not ever a cleansing of it. Someone used a person of a background, and whatever background is, it's like on an ancestral level, okay? You're going to see whoever is originally doing that. So the person that could be currently doing that, they're not as powerful as the person who taught them that. And wherever it is that it's taught, whether they're aware of it or not. So this opens up another portal to see the person's subconscious, unconscious, in their conscious. It works in threes. The fate. Something is fated to be revealed. So in this thing, solar returns. Now we're in quantum physics on a solar aspect. And if you go to Vedic, you got 53-year, you got a 30-year mark, you have a 15-year mark, a 7-year mark, a 5-year, and a 3-year, your first year marks. Okay. So before in vitro, or you're thought of in the womb, usually 3 to 5 months prior to you, You will have to know what was going on prior to the conception of you. And when you know those things, it gets deeper. Me, I want to say back in May, I revealed the maternal aspect, but it was also mine. Someone may have felt triggered because in my maternal thing of revealing certain things that happened from like 1933, 19 to 1965, and then the next one was 1970 to 1994. That allowed me to see them as a whole, but anyone that was connected to me at that time is going to resonate, meaning it's going to trigger. Nationality at that point, your color and where you come from in the country, the only barrier is what? Language, right? Language or dialect. However, if you got triggered and was like, that sound like my life, that means you are part of this cycle. Now, are you learning yet, or you're not willing to learn? If you're not willing to learn, you're going to continue to be triggered. Now, unbeknownst to somebody in a situation, even if this was a person that was in psychiatry, psychology, these people are not very versed in this. They just know who to call to go ahead. It's like, who you going to call? Ghostbusters, right? How do they know about these things? How would you not? The beauty of this shit, it was like, shit, I love working with Kali Ma. Kali Ma is one of their highest vibration people. So when you get into it with some Indian people, some of them speak the language, some of them don't. But energy is energy, right? Power source, solar, it's all the same thing. What are you connected to is the question. Somebody that did something, I'm going to say, give or take, somebody could have been born in 73 or 1978, right? And whoever was born around that time, give or take around 83 or 1987, they were getting picked on the low, a secret that they try to, keep quiet about someone, picking on them on their orientation. That's why I was sitting there. I made the message earlier about someone is like, because somebody is really like no bullshit. So 89, so anybody born in 1980s, 1990s, this situation will very much prevalent hit because you might be going through the same thing, but you're not realizing you're repeating either your maternal or your paternal's situations all over again. You just don't know it, but at the same time, who taught you how to do what it is that you do? Or was it a learned behavior? Was it an environmental behavior? It's going to be one of the three. And out of those three things, what is currently happening right now that I'm saying is very triggering. If I told you go look at a different YouTube, listen to a different message, you ain't even got to hear it from me. The beauty of it is, it's still stinging, but I'm 100% sure if we sit the whole unit down, some people's memories is going to start kicking back in. Like, damn, such and such did bring that up. Damn, I remember when Robbie was saying that shit. I remember when Jamie did say some shit like that. You remember Roxanne? Yeah, Roxanne was saying something like that. Is it a coincidence? Or is it that we're in 2025 and 1985, 1983, 87, 93, 97 is happening right now? Craziest work ever. But we're going to send in CIA people because there's certain people not aware or fully, attentive to what this is. We can block their memory. Are you sure? Reynolds Hospital, Fort Sill tried to do that shit a long time ago. You just got to be smart enough to know how your brain operates. I mean, if you were a kid genius too, you was just, hey, baby geniuses is a thing, So when you pay attention, sometimes most kids that are very, like, it ain't that they get bad grades. More often than not, they are just bored in fucking school. My Nina Bina, my baby girl, my Nina Beanie, that girl was she is still so intelligent. To a point where she was like, Mommy, I just want to homeschool. School is boring to her. She just only like it because the interaction, but her not being fully to be able to have that stimulation that she needs. There's things that her brain will operate that if I was to sit there and talk to her, Mom, did you know that the planets is da-da-da-da-da? It's like, where you learn that from? I don't know, I just know it. But I also looked it up on this and this. Look. And she can go point to it. But if you put her in a classroom and the teacher is trying to teach her something, it's not going to work. More often than not, they got ADD, ADHD. They can't sit down. They don't listen. It ain't that. More often than not, they're more very intelligent. Now, when you want to warrant certain things and behaviors to go a particular way, you have to pay attention to how things are moving. Oh shit! God bless the USA. They don't woke the big man up like, dang, this is strategic. I mean, it could be, somebody could be very, I'm hearing something about Icarus, which I want to say Icarus was a program. Also, Icarus is a word for a hypnosis. Icarus is a thing. A wizard's saying, if we want to be technical, but I will have to look up the dictionary formulated word that they would use on a political level to keep this quiet, because this is something that's been like 41 years in the making of a program that they have been going on. So 1987 reform group, and it was it's not practical, but it was useful. And more often than not, in the 80s, like the war on drugs was the perfect opportunity for them to kick off this Metcalf. This is one of Metcalf's theories or programs or things like that. They're going to have no choice but to try to release it, or they're going to get the digging to find it. Someone could be born 51, so that means someone could have been born 1976. No, 74. 1974. I'm dealing with someone born in 74. These programs of where they feel it was a capability, or they're using witchery, or they know who to work. And more often than not, the Gullah Geechee places were more often than not the places for people to use that. Oh, well, I guess I mentioned earlier, 83 or 1987. It's no difference. I could stand corrected, but I did say 1983. Maybe if you were here, maybe about 10 minutes ago, I mentioned 83, but I appreciate that, Heath Jones. But in those type of situations, they have been looking at, because it was more or less that you will see it more in the Gullah Geechee places, Louisiana, Arkansas, Nebraska, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, Florida, North Carolina, South Carolina. You will see it heavy there. And then, of course, you got to get your quick jive talking, cats. You got to get your quick jive. You on that jive turkey. Come on, slide me some skin. You know what it is. Don't jive me, kid. That's when you hit Chicago. That's when you hit Detroit, and then you hit major big cities. You have Harlem, you will have Brooklyn, and then you would have Queens. Those were the three main places that you did that. No, I appreciate you. Don't ever, if you ever take something I say personally, please don't. I meant no harm. That's why I said thank you, appreciate you. But in these type of programs, more often than not, they were looking at that situation where more or less traumatized men. It was more directed towards men, but it also were on certain women. So if you knew more or less about, 19, I'm going to say about 64 to 77, 78, give or take. That's when prostitution got really, really heavy, really, really bad. More women were taking more advantage, or that's where you start seeing haram, or you start seeing they bottom bees, or pimping. You'll see that, because guess what? That's when in the prison reform, and to get some of these men just to go in and get them lighter sentences, they will have them to see if they were able to play on the mentality of particular women. This was the test of theory to do organ harvesting. This was also a play to be able to do, the drug trade. The drug trade was the major cover for the organ aspect of the situation. Also, it was another cover to use and abuse the Medicaid system to go at the attack of single parents, whether it was a single father or a single mother. Now, depending on how many children that these people had or health conditions, they start playing that in full effect in 1981. So when 81 hit and they realized like, oh, now we can look at, all right, with these single parents or, the men or the women, whoever are involved, they could see more or less if you was born in 81, let's say you was born around 81, or you was one of the people that was in the game, you saw the streets happening, you was a Section 8 welfare government cheese recipient, right? And you had relatives that was going in and out of prison, or at any given time, depending on your nationality, because at that time you had the Latin militia, you had Black Panthers going on. At that time, that's when gangs were really getting more organized or more, strategic with what they were doing. That was also around the times where you start seeing nationalities, either they were uniting and collaborating and things like that. Then that was also around the same time you start seeing government systems coming in just to figure out how they was operating. 81 was also more or less where they heavily utilize the religious sector to say, are you going to become a brother of Islam? Are you going to be, or, the Moors, or what is it called? The Farrakhan group? Are you going to become one of Farrakhan's groups? Is you going to become one of the Jewish groups? Is you know what I'm saying? More or less, 81 was more or less strategically to see which one would be more useful, how they were going to unite, and how they were going to work. Chicago got more elaborate with theirs because they, you got to have diversity in order for you to have, pull and go. So Chicago and Jersey, Massachusetts, and Connecticut was more or less the strategic one where you got into international to allow those things to go. California as well, but California had more heavy rank and weight with Latin America, so it was pretty much difficult to just add in, any other people from other countries or, continents to come in. You'll catch a few here and there, but they will refrain from them because California had more insight than anything. People would want to go to New York, but New York wasn't like a thing. Back in the day, the 80s, 60s, 70s, and 80s, California was the place to go. You know what I'm saying? Outside of Miami, Miami, people knew you went to Miami. That was, drug city. And then in the 80s, that's when, New York, Jersey, and stuff like that got their major recognition, Boston and stuff like that. That was the drug game. And when they took on that situation, that's when they looked into incorporating certain people, whether people were paying attention or not. Somebody was like, God damn, the secret of this. They took on what I wouldn't say is, it can be considered religious because some people, use it as a religion. But other people, if, you're smart to it, that's when I want to say 1975 to 89, that's when they start allowing people to use the hoodoo, Santeria, even though it was like a delay, like they would use it, but like in the 50s, give or take, like the 50s and 60s, it wasn't the time to play with it. But then like when the 70s and the 80s hit, they seemed like, oh shit, somebody, one of the people, like if I could pinpoint who, and I'm pretty sure I could, it would require for me to be standing in the room with the person. Or if the person really got very close to me, like right now, I can tell you exactly who it is. But somebody born in 63, to be precise, they were born in 63. They are in a political or a federal position right now. They were born in 63 and precise. They picked up on, because I want to say that their family or relatives at a point in time, and this was around what Clinton was the president around 93. So with that, these people knew for back in the day from slavery, you knew more or less when women were going to, when people were conceiving. So of course that required you go back to the Gullah Geechee. The Gullah Geechee states were the only states, or Jim Crow states, that still practiced that. That's why it was either white or black. Okay, the Cajuns knew what they was doing. The Creole folks knew what they were doing. Okay, and with them knowing that, or you know what I'm saying, or the Native Americans, they knew they practices. You keep your shit over here, I keep our shit over here. You don't come fuck with us, we ain't gotta fuck with you. Now the thing of it is, what made them a little bit powerful, however, still controlled. They knew back in slave times, the slaves were used to look at the moon, look at the grass. More or less, they knew how to observe a woman fully up and down to know, ooh, that one could be barren. That one could bear a lot of children, right? That was slave time. But with it being very, very useful tool, they saw the use of, oh well, if we can make people's thoughts stay and make they go themselves go crazy, we can get away with doing particular surgeries, right? We can get away with people that we know we can warp their brain, but we can get them to do our dirty work. We stay clean, they do our dirty work, right? So that move of the 70s of people, the hippie era and the war on drugs was the fantastic way to cover up the prison reform thing, where everybody used to think it was a conspiracy theory because somebody was like, ain't no way this shit is a theory. No, it's not. It's full-fledged going on right now. Y'all, aka y'all call it the gang stalking program. Or you could call it the 2025 manifesto, whichever choice you choose. It doesn't really matter to me. It's just fully in effect. Are we paying attention to it or not? So they said it was a war on drugs. The war on drugs was pharmaceutical companies. They just had to dress it up and make it seem so pretty. Because if I can go ahead, who was his name? What was Nipsey Hussle about to do? Dick Gregory, even though his ass was old, it wasn't his time to go. Shit, if Morgan Freeman could still be living, hey, I'm pretty sure Dick Gregory could have kept going, right? Why would I get rid of Dr. Sebi? But I wouldn't talk about it, but my kids is greedy as fuck and they still alive. His original first wife, who actually did his first clinical studies with Dr. Sebi. A lot of people feel like they're doing the full-fledged thing of Dr. Sebi. No, you're not. You're taking on the reform of what their children did. They got greedy. They want the money. Of course, it's my daddy. It's an image, right? PR. That's what it's called. Public relations. I got to give you the image, regardless if I'm giving you the full-fledged of the story of the situation. Also, the major part, it's only one of his kids that was in the forefront, that was promoting his actual work. However, it got pulled as soon as the father passed on. Once they figured out the wife has been in the background, she had to keep quiet because she knew at that time when they were speaking about it, what happened. They stalked her. They harassed her. They almost attempted on her life, right? Afeni Shakur. I said Shakir. Shakur, okay? Tupac Shakur, right? If you go back and look at how she won her case, and she did it pro se, of all the allegations and charges that she had, what type of situation are we looking at? Now, one place and one location that they took full advantage of were people of different nationality or wanted to be nationalized. How can I take advantage of them? You want to be naturalized. You want green cards. You want status. You want position. And you want power. How can I use you? Well, more often than not, if I go over here to these particular countries, what can I see? You come from Brazil? Do you come from Haiti? Do you come from Africa? Do you come from the Dominican Republic? Are you from Puerto Rico? Are you from the Virgin Islands? Are you from the Bahamas? Are you from Trinidad? Are you from Guyana? Not Ghana, but are you from Guyana? Are you from certain parts of India? Are you from certain parts of Japan? Are you from certain parts of China? Are you a child or have you been conceived or at any given time, are you second or third generation of military veterans or are you a military veteran yourself? The answer to that is yes. You're a part of that simulation more often than not. Now the depths and the intel and how it actually works. You ever catch yourself having weird, odd dreams that you're not able to explain? Are you ever having those moments where you feel like, if I talk about this shit, motherfuckers gonna think I'm crazy or I'm weird as shit? I highly suggest that you speak about it. It's more often than not. That dream you having, it's a collaborative dream, but ain't nobody gonna tell you that because if you speak out on it outwardly, at one point in time, your family was silenced. At any given time, are you aware that anyone you know works in high official positions, military, hospital, or government, or state, senate, let alone, do you have anyone that you know that works for the FBI? More often than not. Do you have family that do practice Ifa, Oshun, Ogun, Shango? Do you have any people that do that? Do you have anyone that says that they have a practice to Shiva? Do you have anyone that say that they, non-denominational, things like that? Do you have any people around you that struggle to speak proper dialect to this day? There you are. Do you have a lot of musically inclined people? Do you have a lot of people in your family that just so happen to be very, very beautiful or handsome, but they don't do anything with it? Do you just so happen to have a very long history of family that are alcoholics, drug abusers, or in and out of prison? The answer to that is yes. You are somebody that if you speak up over time and years, I can control you because you only know that this is how we get our money. The only thing that you know is there's certain people that used to run your family. Do you know certain people who have a hate for your nationality, or you just tend, like, if you're a person like me, I'm very open-minded. It's nothing that you're going to do that's going to cause me to hate any type of race. You just got some people, to me, I just feel they're miseducated. To me, your experience with that type of people, that it was your experience. But don't base your experience on every white person, on every black person, every Hispanic or every Arabic shit. I met some cool ass Arabic motherfuckers. They just got caught up in some fuck shit. I'm not going to get upset with that. I've met cool ass Hispanic people. They just got caught up in some dumb shit. And culture. You gotta respect culture. I met some cool ass, dope ass Japanese people, Chinese, whatever fucking nationality. I've met really dope, cool people. I really have. However, when people are able to easily persuade the mind, right there and then, it's very easy to cause them to do anything that you need to. They get a phone call. They got really good jobs. All of a sudden, they're facing issues at their jobs. All of a sudden, back in the day, such and such went missing. Did they? Or was it something that you didn't obey back in the day? And somebody had a family member that either passed on or died in 1985. It wasn't a coincidence. More often than not, it's going to happen very much so close. It's either going to be a relative, a friend, or a friend of the family. Every now and again, you'll get certain things where it's like, oh, it was hospital malpractice, police brutality. Are you sure? Because according to them coming for that arrest, before they came to the arrest, it was something in that paperwork that triggered their mind to say, oh, I'm going to do this. Did you just so happen to get arrested or taken down or getting cared for by someone who was racist? Did you just tend to just be surrounded by people who are just so happen to be homophobic? Were you getting thrown at in your face a religion when you know you don't practice that religion, but they was throwing that religion in your face? It's not by coincidence at all. It's a form of submission, a form of intimidation. I gotta block you. Were you having issues with thinking or trying to go somewhere, get jobs? You struggling to get a job? You think that's a coincidence? No, because you got a capability that if you went into a particular job, either you're too skilled, you know too much that whatever it is in that company or whatever job that you're applying for, that when you get ready to go into this job, those people are already looking at the situation or pre-observed you to already know that when you go into this job, oh damn, here come, who we got over here? We got Jones. Jones coming here. Damn. Jones got the capability to make every system that we created, which is bullshit and it's not really effective. That's why we at a 3.5 when we should be at a 5. But Jones coming in here, shit, we'll be at a 5. But everything that we made is going to fuck us over, right? You want to come in, you a lab technician or a forensics lab person. You know what it is. It's like, hey, why is this type of paperwork looking like this? This is wrong. Somebody changed this. What does that mean that it's going to happen? What you feel is going to happen? Oh, we can't give them the job. Shit, they know they stuff too good to a point that they come in this goddamn job. All the shit that I tried to fuck up 5 years ago, and now I know I fucked up 5 years ago. What's going to happen? We're going to get in trouble. I'm going to lose my job, and I ain't going to lose my promotion, right? If I go ahead and speak up about certain things that's happening, they're going to bully me. They're going to terrorize me. They're going to harass me. Are you scared? Shit. People get bullied every day, B. Shit, kids are way stronger to us. They get bullied. They come home and be like, I don't want my parents stressing or whatever. And then, of course, us not asking the proper questions or not, paying attention, then you get kids that grow to what? Resentment. They don't know much about resentment, but those patterns, right? Eventually, you either getting a child that's going to grow into a scared, submitted to things that they ain't got no business, a killer, or it's going to grow into something else, right? Right. So if I'm going to give you certain things, I got to be able to control the mind. I got to be able to control what it is that you do, to say, how you move. But one of the major things that I can do right now that's going to keep people controlled, I'm going to attempt to use this. But this was an all men's group that they created in 87, between 82 and 87. And they gave this inside the prison, right? And it's like, hey, how would you feel if we go ahead and give you this? I'll give you this guaranteed job, even though I know you shouldn't be getting this type of job. But if I call you and I created this conversion line, which is, I'll tell you which payphones to go use. I'll tell you what block to go on to make the call when the block is too hot for you to call, when I need you to go do a drop a body or get rid of people, right? Organized crime. But organized crime been going on since a long time ago. But if I wanted to be more strategic and I offer you certain benefits, and more often than not, if you're getting less than $5,000, you are those of the reform. 10,000 above, you are the ones that actually went to go get certifications and degree. Now, anything above that is levels to this shit, right? So the more you're paid, the more you are in the levels of how the program is utilized to do this. It's no different than the Sims games, but the Sims game on steroids on the physical right now, presently. It's just how you look at it. Someone's like, there's a conspiracy. It's not a conspiracy. But if I need you to not know what real love is or opportunity is, what is the first thing that I need to do? Make you feel discouraged. I need to make you have imposter syndrome. I need you to not have a clear mind or be sound mind in the things that you're thinking, what you're seeing, what you're experiencing, because I'm going to cause the environment or the people around you to make you believe that what you're seeing and what you know you're capable of achieving, right? I'm going to cause you to go ahead and rethink everything that you're seeing. Now, if we're getting onto a spiritual aspect, right? Right here, what do you see? We got the bow tie crew And you got a Native American woman right here. Those are grounds for what? Shamanic. Those are grounds that when they collaborate and they bond together, you create a what? A golden child. Eddie Murphy did a movie on that in what? 1989. Some of y'all need to go back and watch the Golden Child movie. What was the Golden Child capable of? Why did they want to steal that kid? For somebody, if you have certain type of bloodlines, those situations right there, that means you have a capability of Native American practices, dream state. More of those is wordplay. You will also know about root work. You will know about ancestral aspects. You will know about political science aspects, right? Also, when you go back into Native Americans, you will know more about the environmental. You will know about the man, right? The man, or as the Indians used to call them, the white men, or what they called them. Damn, they used to say it to me all the time as a kid whenever they would talk about white men. Native American, when you go on them reservations, the shit that they would say, you'd be like, how'd y'all come up with them type of names? It's interesting. But carry on. Or, when it came to the bow tie crew, them white devils. But the devil is just nothing but a systematic program that you utilize them to go ahead and do what it is that they do, right? It's no real difference than that. So 1975 was like a very prominent time where they caused people that did practice, the arts, they used to give them the runaround. But it was like the main runaround is if I can go ahead and make sure that they know that it's going to work, because a lot of people, when you put religion in front of the spiritual aspect, you must be spiritual before you're religious. Because if you don't know your full spiritual capacity, the religion is going to rule you. So I can manipulate you on a whole spiritual level and you not even realize what's going on. I keep getting sick, and more often than not, you go to the doctor keeps saying nothing wrong with me. Because it physically is nothing wrong with you, but on the spiritual, oh, you fucked up. Oh, you for real fucked up. Well, my body keep going down and it's going up and down, and my nerves, and they say they can't find it until they finally find it. And it's usually not found until 7 years later. A year later. It's usually found within a physical of what you've been feeling. It ends up coming down as above, so below, comes down to the physical body within 1 to 7 years. And by the time that it comes to your physical body, it's aggressive. They told me I only have a few days to live. What were you doing in the meantime to fix it? Oh, the Lord is going. But you, on your spiritual level, you keep having a dream about, I kept dreaming about my granny. Well, what was granny doing to you when you was a kid, when you get sick? Well, granny, we used to grow mulberry bushes when I was a kid. Well, apparently your ass need to be drinking some goddamn mulberry, and it's going to help you a little bit. And then whatever next dream you have is telling you and it's guiding you to what you need to be doing for your health or whatever's affecting you. But however, I'm going to make sure, go read that scripture. What nationality was King James? It's nothing to push away, because the Bible was a very fucking studious tool. Don't get it twisted. That's a whole bunch of history. But if I can manipulate you and play with your dream state, because somebody been playing in mine and all I'm doing is going ahead. Somebody's like, are they manipulating me? I'm confused. Ain't no motherfucking confused. You can't be confused about the bullshit that you do. And shit, you trying to be the prodigy child of somebody who's been doing the same fucked up shit that you do. And you sit here still confused because y'all over here playing with voodoo, and hoodoo and all this other shit. And y'all ain't realize the extent of it. That person is already, the way they've been practicing, and they secretly say they don't do that shit, is 53 in the years making. They probably 54, 55 years old. It's time for their ass to feel that shit. Right? Somebody 54, they just now starting to feel the bullshit that they secretly try to hide. So these are motherfuckers that got kids. Literally at the age of, depending on when they had their first kid, they could be literally 41 and down, 41 to up to a teenager, basically. Some might even have little kids right now. I'm gonna say, and most of them ain't got nothing younger than 12. If they in their 50s and they got some under 12, then hey, what's up, Rachel and Sarah? You see what I'm saying? In those type of situations, you got to start asking questions. You're repeating the cycle of either your mother or your father or both of your parents, and you don't even realize it. You could have a degree. You could work for the CIA. You could work for the Veterans Affairs. But unbeknownst to you, it's easy to blind the fuck out of you because, oh, they told me to honor thy mother and thy father. Honor is only acknowledging. I can acknowledge you. I ain't got to be fucking close to you because most of the time it's the motherfuckers closest to you. So you're going to sit there and be like, I'm all pro-family, but your brother is about to kill you because he wants your position. Your brother is willing to kill your mama just to get the fucking position. But that's a secret I would not ever tell my fucking family. Because I need to keep them ruled because I got a strong-ass position. And when they get into some bullshit, brother, how did we get out of this court case? How do I get my assistant? How do I get this grant? I got you. Don't worry about it. But the secrets they don't tell you. You remember your best friend that passed on that they miraculously always tell? That's why you can't be in the streets and then turn fed. Because more often than not, that motherfucker is narcissistic than fuck. They're sociopath or psychopath. They try to hide in the background. They keep a distance. Certain kids that they know that the family is actually into that shit and they stop doing that shit for a long time. Those be the motherfuckers they take advantage of. Were you the illegitimate kid and you didn't know it? Did you were you one of the kids where back in the day your mama, whether they talk about it or it gets brought up by another relative, oh, that was mine, man, da da da. It wasn't by coincidence. More often than not, if you're struggling with something here presently in the physical, more often than not, it's more people fighting their fucking sexuality. It's a lot of people that fight their fucking sexuality. That's been the power move for the longest. If I can beat you on that, I can go ahead and cause you to submit to anything that I tell you. I'm not going to tell you that I'm not your real fucking daddy. I killed your daddy because he was going to tell on me, so I had to play to be your daddy. I had to manipulate this bitch because I was really trying to be on her man or your real daddy, but I wasn't going to tell him that. I was trying to kill your auntie because your auntie knew, so that's why I had made sure that the brakes got cut off in the goddamn car and she lost her baby, so I made that bitch submit to me. You see? Somebody was playing the wrong fucking game. I'm not the one you play with, sir. But be mindful when you sitting there destroying somebody's family. I'm not here to play that. Don't sit there and try to run to Christianity and try to say somebody is a tyrant. But the secrets and sins that you hide today is the truths that be told when you really run into the truth teller. When you turn into somebody that is a reincarnate, other people would get the answers. And then when they got to realize, like, why y'all didn't tell us? Why y'all didn't tell us? Were they obligated to? It's a need to know. So even the FBI is still people in sections of the FBI. I know better than that shit. I know that better than anybody. A need to know basis. I ain't gonna ever fucking tell you like, yeah, that's one of our prized people. We know how to utilize their energy. They just don't know it yet. Or at least they're gonna play along to not realize that, hey, yeah, certain things that we can do with them or we don't have to do with them. And every time that we do certain evil things to them, usually the delay of that situation, depending on how fast that person catch on to you, you literally may get a chance to be 7 hours, 7 days, 7 weeks, months, or years before that karma burn the fuck out of your ass. Are you messing with a reincarnate? Federal will know exactly how many people. There is currently 58 of us. Out of the 58, there's only 11 of us that have a very deep capability. But who are you sitting in that you feel like is oh so powerful? Don't ever be like you above the Most High. Because when you try to pertain certain things, who you playing with, baby? Who you playing with? Which roots is you playing with? Who roots is you playing with? Why are you playing with those roots if you portraying that you don't like them type of roots? Because when you don't like, oh, you don't like my roots. Oh, you don't like my type of things. And you come from these too. And you using us. That backfire will smack your ass in the craziest way. Oh, you trying to play racist. Oh, you don't like, but you playing with my roots. You play with my roots? That's like playing with the willow tree. I ain't Pocahontas or nothing like that, but that's like playing with the willow tree. Oh, you don't want to do that? Oh, you over here trying to mess with the princess and the frog. I ain't Tiana or Facilier, but what is you doing? Because apparently I got to make this Disney because somebody thought they was going to be Walt Disney and be super animated with the things that they do or say or try to portray that somebody's so animated. But the facts and the proof and the truth is in the pudding. Uncle Pudding. We got to be mindful about the things that we do. Oh, you going to use that person? Well, it's only going to work so long, but however, do you know how to alter the mind state? More often than not, people don't know how to do that. Do you know how to redirect the synapses of the brain, which is actually a thing to do? Do you know how to play the game of, most of them call it wordplay. Others call it the situation. Are you able to back up what it is that you say with the facts? Because anyone knows anything that you are given, and you're sitting here. I got it off of Google, and Google told me this. You can sue Google. Google know this. Logic sense say anything that's gonna misguide you. Shit. Red Bull gives you wings. Somebody sue the fuck out of the Red Bull company. Because they didn't get their goddamn wings. Google said that it said no and that it's da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Google said it. You got it from Google, right? Make sure you go all the way to the bottom. Make sure that it's copyrighted and things like that. Because if it's copyrighted, it's sealed, and it belongs to a LLC corporation, business, or whatever, make sure you sue their ass right along with it. You see? Oh, you can't sue the army. Well, you can sue every fucking body that was in there. Did you have a commander? Okay. Did you have a platoon? You can get them to. You can. Oh, the governor and the mayor, he allowed this shit to go on. He didn't say nothing. He didn't tell their ass to sit the fuck down and stop playing in that shit. There go your lawsuit. Oh, they want to place judgment. Oh, they wanted to go pick on you. Oh, they want to go get these gang members and stuff like that. Shit. Hey, gang, y'all want to get out of jail free cards? You're innocent, right? Hell yeah. And you got ties to the gang? Nah. You got ties to these motherfuckers? I sure the fuck don't. Hey, how much money you want to make, gang? Well, you already know how the streets operate. You got to be street smart and book smart at the same damn time. Don't be book smart and then I'm going to use my dummy street people to do this. You just got the books and the authority to say that. But are you abusing your authority is the kicker. Wait a minute. We're stronger in numbers. Intimidation, right? Hey, find me the strong one and let's find their weakness. That's the source and the key to everything. Find their motherfucking weakness. They need you to have an emotional reaction. What better way to give them an emotional reaction? What better way to do it by making sure that they're right there on the spot? More often than not, they need to keep a distance from you. They don't want you to know that it's actually them doing it. You got the capability to rule nations, and you do. That's a threat to the bullshit that we do every day, to the bullshit that we make, to the lies we say, that any which way we gonna take you down today. That used to be some motherfuckers' mottos. Or the prostitute pimps. Way to go. But I'm going to leave that message right there. Someone's like, but you living us on the cliffhanger. Am I? Some of you need to go self-reflect. Similar ways, similar things. Starting to feel that similar things. Are you sure we haven't met before? Are you sure this is just... It's 1965 again. We're just in 1965. It's just modernized. Carry on.